Right, so we got this Ford Ranger here with cylinder misfire issue. Basically, client said that the vehicle runs a little rough. When he was driving, his friend told him that he saw a puff of black smoke behind the truck, so asked us to if we could look into it for him. So start up the vehicle. Right, so the vehicle starts up real good. Right, go ahead and puff, rev. Again. Right, so as you can see, excuse me, as you can see, no check light on. Right, sorry about that. No check light on, so we're gonna do a balance test real quick and see if we can narrow down which cylinder is giving trouble. Come out of here and go back in. Right, you can do it multiple ways. You can hook up the leak down test on the injector, or you can use the scan tool and try to narrow down which cylinder has the issue. Right, using the cylinder balance test, power balance test, or contribution test. Right, every diesel vehicle uses its own method where I believe Ford uses 1 as their feedback, injector feedback, and I think Navara, Nissan has used 0. Right, so let's look up for any information. Matter of fact, before I do that, let me scan for codes and see if I'm seeing anything. Right, so the check light is not on. Got no codes here. So we're gonna go into retrieve data. I'm gonna pull up anything that I see when it comes to fuel or cylinder contribution. Let's go after RPM. What else? Let's pick these. Anything to do with injectors, I'm gonna pull up. Right, I'm gonna press OK. Right, so as you see, number 1 saying 0.8, number 2 saying 1.2, number 3 saying 0.8, and number 4 saying 1.2 at this RPM, right? So I'm gonna just slightly increase the RPM and let's see what it goes to. It goes to 1. Right, so basically, let's say 1 is their what Ford uses as a feedback, right? But normally this measure is measuring the volume per stroke, which is millimeters cube per stroke, right? So I'm just checking to see what injectors is having the issue. So far it looks like cylinder number 2 and number 4 may have the issue, right? Number 1 and number 3 is getting there also. I believe all of them supposed to be close to 0, right? Don't hold me to that. Only I'm gonna service the injectors. And when I service the injectors, then I will know for sure what I'm supposed to get. I don't have a known good engine or Ford around, but I can double check. Let's take it off real quick. I don't have a vehicle around where I could double check these numbers, right? But I believe that these numbers are supposed to be close to 0 or 0, right? And right now it's saying that number 2 and number 4 is basically something wrong with the injector or something wrong with the cylinder, and these are not too far behind. So I'm going to pull all the injectors and I'm going to service all of them at one time and see if I get these values to drop, right? So yeah, I could recall that the customer did mention to me that he's seen a lot of black smoke coming out of the tailpipe, right? So I'm gonna go right after the fuel on this, right? He never serviced up the EGR or anything like that, so yeah, this is excessive black smoke that's coming out of here, man. You know, especially when you tip on the gas.
right? So I'm going after the fuel system on this, right? As you can see, the engine is vibrating, but not excessively like a misfire. It just looked like, you have a slight rough idle, right? No, as I said, no check light is on, right? So it's kind of hard to tell what is going on, right? So I'm gonna pull the injectors on this, send them to get service, right? Replace all the compression washers. Also, I'm not gonna do no flush or anything like that. I'm just gonna replace the fuel filter, probably put a diesel treatment in it, right? So the outside of the injector don't look too pretty, but basically you just gotta make sure you got it working properly, right? So I'm gonna do that, pop that back in, and get this truck started up.
3 days later.
So I got the injectors back. I'm gonna use the original fuel filter and also hit it with a diesel clean, so we should be good to go.
Right, so pardon the glare. Let's check out the data on the injectors after they were serviced on this Ford Ranger. Right, you hear the vehicle running. The idle is good.
Right, so we're gonna check for leaks on the system first, and then after we're gonna button everything up. But before that, I gotta do some called like an injector recalibration to make sure it's back to factory specs.
Go ahead. Go without again. Alright, so let's see how it looks now. As I said, it was still alright. So you're seeing the same one. Before you were seeing 0.8, 1.2, 0.8, 1.2. So Ford has used 1, Nissan has used 0 to know that the injectors is, looking good. You see all these zeros that you see in here? That is the volume per stroke, right, in each injector. You want to see, as I said, the zeros here. This will reflect here. So we'll call that a fix.
So every manufacturer will have their own unique way where they measure the feedback or contribution from each injector. So that's why I like to take a before and after pic of what is going on, so I can know if I did fix it or not. So I hope you like what you saw. Don't forget to like, share, comment. Until next time, take it easy.
Good.